Hello and welcome to another episode of the Slash Chapter Show. On today's episode, we're going to be playing with my new toy, the Magic Bullet. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Why did you buy a Magic Bullet? It's just a small blender. Because it's a small blender that I don't have to worry about the features and stuff. If I want to blend something, I put it in, I push the button, and it blends. And it costs about the same amount of money as a normal blender, so I don't really miss out on anything. I prefer it to normal ones, mostly because it's easier to use. Normally I try to make milkshakes on a normal blender, and I have a hard time figuring out which setting to use, because there's so many of them, all of which do pretty much the same thing. But with the Magic Bullet, I just push the button and it goes. Which is why I've decided to use it to help fund this new show of mine. I call it, Can This Be Drunk? No, that doesn't sound right. How about, Is It Possible to Drink This? There you go, that's got a better ring to it. So what I'm basically going to be doing on this new show is taking the Magic Bullet, inserting some sort of solid object into the cup, and then trying to transform it into a drinkable liquid. For example, in today's episode, I am going to be trying to liquefy potato chips. Now the point of this show is not to make appetizing liquids or tasty things. It's just the fact of whether or not the thing I do can actually be liquefied. So what we're going to be doing today, like I said, is potato chips. But since potato chips on their own are not going to be able to turn into a liquid, I'm going to be adding some milk. This is 2% milk. And then, so all we really got to do is unscrew this, add the milk and potato chips, and see what happens. Now the first thing we have to do is add our ingredients. Take a sizable handful of potato chips here and insert it into our Magic Bullet. Just like that. Now, like I said, we're going to add a little bit of milk to the concoction because I know that it's not going to liquefy without some sort of liquid to propel that action. And now we have some potato chips in milk in our Magic Bullet. And now comes the fun part. You screw the lid on like this, make sure it's good and tight, and now we're going to throw it onto the blender. Like this, lock it into place, and here we go! Okay, so, as you can see here, it looks like throw up, but it seems to me as though the potato chips have liquefied. So I'm going to just tip it over like this, and I'm going to go ahead and taste this thing. God, the things I do for you guys. Okay, so it smells like potato chips. I don't smell milk in there at all. Let's give this a try. You know, that's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. It's kind of an unpleasant texture in your mouth, but it doesn't taste bad. It just tastes like milk with a potato chip in it. So, as to answer the question of whether or not this can be liquefied, I have to say no. You cannot liquefy potato chips because the potato chips don't actually liquefy. They just kind of break up and float around in the milk. But to prove to you that I'm actually going to drink this thing, I'm going to finish this off so that you know I'm not faking this. Oh, God. Like I said, that is a really unpleasant texture in your mouth, but I think I'm gonna be sick. Not because of the bad taste, like I said, but it just doesn't feel right in your mouth. It's like you're ingesting your own puke. But I don't really want to finish the rest of this, but note how much lower the content of the blender is. I did actually drink it. So that really answers the question, is it possible to liquefy potato chips? And so we failed in our first attempt. But stay tuned on the channel because I will probably be doing a good bit more of these. But for right now, I have to go clean out the blender. And until next episode, I will see you guys later. And feel free to try any of these things at home. If you find that you've come up with a good suggestion for me as to something I could liquefy, then by all means, let me hear it because I'm always looking for more ideas. So until next time, peace out. Oh my God.